Good morning, everyone. So yesterday morning, we kind of dared the market to correct, actually saying, will it ever happen again? And came in and gave a few slaps, I guess you could say. Um, so always put it in the context of, the trend. We talked about it getting a little short-term extended. We're just looking at the mags here, Magnificent Seven, because there was some more cracks in the armor, so to speak. You take a look at Amazon. That fell real hard yesterday, violating some support. Let's take a quick peek at it. Um, so one of our rules, and it just marginally closed under here, but one of the rules that I created just to stay objective about things, where this has been kind of grinding its way up to that resistance. When you get a move down and it violates multiple pivots, on one swoop, so to speak, that's a bad sign. I know there's some news out there about this. I think kind of related to the money that they're spending on AI, like everybody else. But anyway, um, and this is the gap down and the move here, and looked like maybe it was going to resume the way up, and a nasty break. Um, which other ones? Well, and here's one kind of disappointing because it looks so great. Um, and this is what I'd refer to as the power of bar by bar analysis of keeping you objective about what's going on. Now, this isn't totally broken, but here you had this wide range bar down, retracement back up to the top, another RBI, a 1, 2, 3 that never triggered, and now, it's moved down yesterday. So is it just because of the negativity in the market yesterday that this came down? Or is this another sign of the beginning of the market getting ready for some drop in October? We'll see. Um, there's a little buying on the dip here. You can see pre-market, it is on some support. So what I would suggest is setting an alert and see if this comes back from that dip, because if it could, that would open up the door to a significant move to the upside. But maybe it's going to break down. So, who knows? I said in the past, doesn't cost any money to set alerts. We'll see what it does. Tesla still looks great. Nvidia, had the big up day on the news, the AI news. So, that's a big positive coming back. This was starting to look like it was going to roll over. That can't gave back a large amount yesterday. So that's another crack in the armor, so to speak. Typically, bars like this don't give it all back the next day or the majority of it back the next day. And yeah, yeah, it's Meta not doing much of anything, but so could form a buy setup down here. Not a great one because of the depth of retracement, but it is on major support in a rising 50 MA. So we'll see if this can make a turn today and into tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just looking around the markets, it's more of the same in that. Well, let's start with the futures. It's in an uptrend. Red bar doesn't change that. It did retrace the whole thing. And one of my comments yesterday was, it's a bullish day, but what if it gives the whole thing back? And it wound up doing it. And so I don't know, maybe it meets the definition of a bullish engulfing. Who cares with the name or the exact, definition of it? It's a red bar, relatively large. I mean, we've seen them before. And so maybe it pulls back a little bit. We'll see. Who was asking, would the top tail bar be a sell in HLI? Well, one bar isn't a sell signal. No, it's not a sell. It's in an uptrend. It's the beginnings of a breakout failure. Oh, but we don't take action based on one bar. Now, it's not doing anything pre-market, but it's in an uptrend. It's not extended. And this is, one of the things that we, at some point we all get, you know, what's the right word? Too caught up in, with this candlestick stuff, meaning uh one bar doesn't change a damn thing. Now, one giant bar, range expansion, big nasty red bar that engulfs four bars, I mean, that's obvious. But if you can envision this in your mind's eye, a line chart, nothing happened of significance. Right? It just went up and it's gone sideways. So nice uptrend, nice weekly uptrend. It looks good. It looks like new all-time highs. I'd keep it on the watch list. Yeah. All right. Continue to look around. NASDAQ futures are up here. We'll see how much they can negate yesterday's red bar or not, or whether they break below yesterday's low. Right? So as this moved up day by day, there have not been, this looks like maybe it closed under, yes, that prior bar's low marginally, but it's a bottoming tail bar. And so do we get a close below a prior day's low? It's the most simple form of analysis that you can do. And just say, hey, my first reference point of support is a prior bar. In this case, a daily time frame. While it's still an uptrend, do you get a close below a prior day's low? Do you get a close below a prior day's low? That would suggest some kind of continued move upside. Or does today, well, if today goes sideways and it just goes, inside at the bottom of this bar and it breaks all those bars lows, it's going to be negative. I'll just continue to follow the routine. YM got rejected, topping tail. On a closing basis, it's just going sideways and it's in an uptrend. We'll see if it follows through. Wash, repeat. And look at the Russell, same story. On a closing basis, it's just flat lining at the top of a wide range bar. And so we'll see what today brings. Bitcoin, on support on this little congestion, but came down hard, closed below a prior bar's low, and it closed below a bar that broke out above the highs. So that was a negative event. Now it's on support. Right? Routine, you look to the left. You don't short at support. Now we'll see if it can actually hold on to this turn day or not. Uh, Gold, taking a little bit of a rest here. Now a range bar. Still looks great. Silver, taking a little rest. Same story. Um, you know, Factory work, mark off minor support, mark off major support, rising 20, rising 50, little short-term extended, bar by bar. And crude oil up again. Yesterday I commented it was down at major support. I said, maybe, because it was starting to take a little move up there, take a look at some of the energy stocks. Someone, I forget who it was, whether it was Raul or somebody else, someone else mentioned pre-market about Halliburton. It was just starting to move up and it had a monster day coming out of this base. So, that's probably going to need to rest a little bit. It's just a big day, but the energy stocks came on really strong yesterday. You can take a look at others. I mean, this tends to be a low price one. I haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, it's usually a dog. I don't know why, but yeah, some of the energy stocks look great. This one is more gas. So that kind of gave it back. But again, it's one bar within an uptrend. So, look at the higher time frame. You can take a look through those energy stocks. They look pretty good. Yeah. GDX a little extended. Alex is mentioning BKR. Looks great. So it gave back a little bit. Big deal. And look at how that is advancing. Very controlled. Rising 20, rising 50, 20 above the 50. WTK, Thomas is sharing. WTI. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. WTI. Kind of messy. Not kind of. It's a mess. But maybe it can clear those highs and take off. So that's interesting. Send alert, low price one. That looks good. WFRD looks great. Weatherford, that's another one. Looks great. So there's lots of them out there, and it's got some room to go up. So that looks amazing. All right. What doesn't look amazing continuously is the transports. Right? We've got the alert there, got the alert down here. CSX, some of the rails got looking better. This might create a 1, 2, 3 to continue up in the latter part of the week. We'll see if it can hold on to its gain today. The truckers still look terrible. T. And did I type that wrong? Yeah. JBHT. HT. Yeah, slowing momentum, but just terrible. Truckers aren't doing good. Valley sharing NOG. Looks good. So keep an eye on these. It's down a little bit this morning, but it could recover. So, yep, bottoming out. See if they can come up. We'll be keeping an eye on them. I like the weekly, the bottoming tail bar, some early accumulation down at support. It's got resistance up here, so it's not the type of pattern that suggests it's going to trend for a longer period of time. It'll hit that resistance, but who cares, right? As short-term traders, why not? Looks good. All right. Some other things. Semiconductors have been doing great. They little pressure on them, of course, yesterday. SMH, little selling in there. They're extended, so it would make sense for them to come in a little bit, right? And then we'll just see how much they come in and what happens, right? And there's another software, you know. So there were red days all over the place yesterday, and these got beaten down. One of the things we covered, we looked at Home Depot yesterday in the coaching session. We talked about how interest rates immediately put a drag on these. It helped them go up, and interest rates flipping up just a minor amount violated the trend on all of these interest rate sensitive stocks. Um, and so, and here's the 10-year just holding here. You want to keep an eye on this. If it's, set an alert down below here, not that, that what I just showed you is a great buy setup, but maybe it begins to turn up, on a short-term basis if this starts to break down. So, all those interest rate sensitive instruments, if this breaks down, it's going to help them. If it breaks out, it's going to hurt them. And support is, resistance is up here. All right. As far as the Qs and the gaps, look, I was typing over here. I messed up my stuff right here. Anyway, so gapping up a little bit in the middle of yesterday's range, not a big deal, right? And not even gapping up more than 50% into yesterday's range, but it is basing. Maybe it goes a little bit higher at the open. And then I suspect, just because of yesterday's negativity, sellers will try and knock it back down again. But the 65-minute isn't an uptrend and it's on major support. So, even though it came down hard, it leads me to believe the downside should be limited unless, it came down a lot. So most times it's going to chop around down here for a few hours before it would take another leg down. But since it cut through 600 as it did, 600 is likely to be resistance. Some common sense. All right. Spiders, no breakdown, didn't close below the prior day's low, but it certainly came down to it. Short-term extended intraday. It's holding here. It's in the middle, not the middle, just below the middle of yesterday's range. And I noted these before I came on. This came down. Of course, that came down. Could it come down here today? I don't think so. We got some economic data coming out tomorrow. I think today's going to be a breather type of a day, but we'll see how it unfolds. It would be unlikely for it to fall that far unless somebody knows something that they shouldn't know, right? Insider stuff. But I wouldn't think that it would fall that far today, and it's unlikely to go back up there today. So we'll see how it plays out. Well, yours, Dan.
Morning, 1 second here, adjusting something. Yeah, so I was reading in the journal today. Do you remember yesterday afternoon when I looked at the spiders and I said, "What? What's happening?" Because I came back from lunch and I saw this afternoon sell-off. See right here, 2 o'clock, kind of starts at the bottom. And I said, "What? When did this happen?" And I lined it up perfectly with Powell talking yesterday. And, I just educated guess, but educated guess is they didn't like what he was saying. And, he wasn't promising rate cuts, same old blah, blah, we'll look at the data. But he also made a comment, and I don't know if this is what did it, saying he thought equity prices were getting a little hooked. Um, yeah, we all know about the irrational exuberance comment. All right, Thomas, let's see what you got for us. Joby, it's maybe 30-minute high. It gapped up here and is pulling into the gap fill. So maybe I'm not rushing into it, but 30-minute high. Varex needs to break out. It's a potential bottoming pattern, but remember, bottoming patterns, we say, I need a something something bar, and I need a void, and a moving average alignment, and there's a lot of things we look at. And this one's not ready, but let's set an alarm at 2580, and then we won't even worry about it unless that alarm goes off. But Joe Zolak, fast. Yeah, that's on the list from yesterday. Yeah, I already got an alarm. Yeah, so fast daily, weekly's making the turn. Ideally, it happens after 30 minutes. Just, the reason I say that is just let it prove itself. Something triggering a 30-minute high, the majority of the time, provided it's going sideways, not rallying into the 30-minute high. It's just more confidence than a 5-minute high when you got the market just opening up and emotions and orders moving around. Or Tolly, and about Halliburton. That was an igniting breakout. So now what's the next question? What time frame are we trading and what's the pattern and reward to risk? So that's extended on the daily. For me to swing this, I'd want a couple inside bars, but day trade, the 15 is holding well. So if you want to trade off that, that's fine. Oh, Eric Daniel Green, what's that? Yeah, his Greenspan, absolutely. Absolutely. That was his famous reference. All right, alarms, NIU is an early alarm, but I like this as a 1, 2, 3 bullish daily, weekly, monthly. Could be a home run entry. Look at this big old bottoming pattern. I'm in it already yesterday, but I just posted an official Dow. Yeah, it's a continuation short. I don't like its swing because it's down 5 days, but take trade. EL. Alex, you're throwing me off on this one. Just knowing you, I'm assuming you want to short under one of these bars here, but then that's too far away. I don't like the reward to risk of shorting here, stop here. MCC, that's a potent reversal. It's a end of day rally, so I'd prefer a 1, 2, 3, but I can see it gapping up over the bar, so there's no entry. Voyage is a 1, 2, 3. There you go, John. That's a 1, 2, 3 from a bottoming pattern. Small little downside shakeout, deep into resistance, price void. It's gapping. The problem is the gap. But that was a very tradable one on a pullback. Let's watch that. I don't need NIU. So Voyager's going into that spot. The stub, I had an alarm go off. I like watching IPOs, but that's a buy setup. But the problem is we have limited data. We only got we got 5 bars. There's a problem. So there's no support, there's no trend. Well, short-term trend opening up. There's no pivots, but it's down. But that's worth watching. FTNT, I had an up alarm go off. We're in trail mode. Legend. Legend was a short I posted yesterday, but I'm not sure if it's a buy or not. PTOM we're in, not, well, yeah, we're in PTOM, but that's mixing that up with Riven. Riven still looks good. Igniting breakout daily, weekly. Could be another home run entry on the monthly. So we've made our target on the put spread, but we're in it directionally. An IDKR alarm, up alarm went off, nothing to do, or management mode. EXC, igniting bar, but there's no entry, reward to risk. If you get a pattern, you can day trade it, but again, big old bars like that. I want a couple inside bars before I swing it. Earnings. Air. There you go. That's a breakout. You got converging 20 and 50, breakout daily, weekly. It shows a gap in the 79. Get rid of piton. Let's put air there. Okay, so that could be a great 30-minute high. I2 sounds like the sneeze. Nasty gap down here, no interest, but it also says biopharma. Milk in, no pattern. MU was up like $8 last night. Now it's down a little bit. So this could be a 30-minute low call spread. WOR 57. Now, I don't call that one an exhaustion gap. $3 divided by 6, it's gapping down 5%, but it's gapping down from a bearish consolidation. So my bias actually looks lower on that. CTOS swapping all over the place. That looks lower too. But I just don't like shorting things that are down this much. I'd actually rather see a bear gap that bullies. And then we'd look to go long, but that's just a big hypothetical. UEC continuation looks good. Though 111, big gap, but nothing to do. All right, those are all the earnings. I didn't do any earnings yesterday. ELV, these are just miscellaneous. ELV bottoming pattern, fast. We talked about POET. I would love a 1, 2, 3 on this, but I see it gapping up. So that's messing us up. But daily, weekly, monthly, we're all in alignment yesterday. And remember how we say volume? We just pay attention at spikes to see if it confirms it. Look at that. That's beautiful, confirming, igniting volume. And then look at this one over here. Confirmed on the gap breakout. So if this were not gapping, I'd be all over a 1, 2, 3. Nothing I can do. Yeah, fair sandwich. The only problem is reward to risk. Yeah, we're in Charlie Echo. Looks great. We're in management mode. Break even here is a Climo, but now the gap down's messing it up. Hey, does anyone know what happened to FCX? FCX today? That's an ugly gap down, and oil was actually up. So something's going on with FCX. I looked at SCCO, and that was up. All right, air this middle chart. Okay, so now you look. It was one of my, oh, I don't know how. I thought they were both up. Oil. Why are you asking me oil? They're both copper, SCCO and FCO. All right, so forget about that one. Fast alarm. Fast, yeah, fast would be a great 30-minute high or a 1, 2, 3 if we're so lucky. That looks great. So that is a tier 1 setup right now. So we put it in that little window and let's watch it. The market's coming in a little bit. FTNT up alarm, but that looks fantastic fast. FTNT, let's tighten the stop here. 84.61. 84. I like going under the even things, so 84.58. Howie, low alarm. We're shorted. Mark, yeah, day trade, nice 15. Yeah, I don't like it swing, but day trade. Oh, got it, Alex. Thanks. Yeah, kind of copper. Yeah. All right, so this is cool. We're in trail mode. Powie. Let's see. We have a couple open shorts. Also, the new alarm 40 spot 70. Up alarm 41.70. Let's see. Yeah, we're in it. We're in it. And I said you could do the back half. Yesterday's high, so that triggered. Our BTU is still cruising. Low alarm 31. NIU, but it's an early alarm, so ignore it. TKO, technical knockout alarm. Sam, I think that's your list, but it's an early alarm. You got horizontal resistance, nothing to do now. That's Mike Papa, CEO, was talking. CNBC, but nothing to do. There's your TKO. ELV, the prior high, but bottoming. See if you can do a put on that. Look at fast is the best looking thing I have, but markets are a little iffy here. But this one's a go once we get stabilization in the market. So let me post it as a long watch. Yeah, and my second alarm just went off. So yes. Yeah, looks great. Yep, I'm in it. I should have had an order to add. So I'll put a bid out to add. Five, nothing, diamonds, neutral, cues. Um, Greg, what do you think about this fast? I just don't have the market confidence, but this
I
looks
would have
great.
stopped under yesterday's low, half a size. Your PWR from last week finally formed a good pattern, taking out some resistance here.
Um,
eBay shaping up. It's too early in the day, but it's looking good. Could watch that. Put on a thumbnail. Curling up, little rounding kind of a bottom right off the rising 50 MA.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, making a turn. Similar, same but different to fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Same but different. Making a turn, converging MAs, buy set up weekly.
See if the spiders can hold a gap fill on this pullback. Q's already filled the gap.
Fast doesn't have weeklies. Shoot. Let's check eBay. Really, Chinese motorcycle? I didn't know that. So the 90s. Hey, a totally different story. Don, I meant to say it yesterday. I read in the journal yesterday that China is like dominating the world and making movies now. There's no juice at 90. They said they have some animated movie out that made $2 billion, and they said that's greater than our top three this year. That's kind of interesting. I say let's buy half off 30-minute high on this thing. eBay. I like it. It's not as ripe as fast, so let's wait 30 minutes. Hey, they sure do steal a lot of our movies. That's for sure. Well, won't get into it, but they steal a lot of our stuff. That's their business model. Steal it and replicate it. Yes, well, it's so like 48. All right, that's Voyage bottom right. Not doing anything. We are Ribbon and Piton acting weak again. Yep, Ribbon low alarm just went off. Well, nothing we can do now. It's still, if it's a longer term trade, but Piton's on probation. Well, do you remember the motorcycle name? Indian? They've been around since, Harley Davidson. Indian, yeah. No, I actually saw one cruising around Lauderdale the other day. I know.
There's a great movie about that. I think it was
Really?
an Indian motorcycle with Anthony Hopkins. Dan, take a look at GNRC for Jeff in the social media chat. Says hopped over his stop. I think that got a downgrade yesterday.
We were talking about it. I don't know what the hell happened to it. We were talking about it. Yeah, it went through our stop in the morning, and then this little bottoming tail. I said, get out at whatever price you can on a bounce. Um, it, I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. What are your options? Your power looking good. What are the options? Do nothing, take your loss, roll it, which I don't recommend because you can make the hole bigger, or try to unwind it if you get a compelling pattern. So this is a Climo on the 15th. So, I'm just throwing out ideas. Let's say it takes out a 30-minute high. Then what you can do is cover the short calls and let it go up and then cover the short puts, which are still going to be in the money because we did the 180s, so it's way against us. So I mean, those are the options on something that's far away. All right. So Greg, your PWR, that's a nice gap trade. As a boy to 415, you could buy it right now. Um, it shouldn't take out today's low. But there's no weakness, but yeah, it looks great. Beautiful gap trade over 1, 2, 3. Bottoming pattern.
Why I
Great.
pointed it out to you.
Oh, I know, and I'm watching it. I'm just saying it still looks great. It's holding well. Moss, yeah, looks good. Stop below. John Fleur, yeah, that looks good, John. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 breakout. It's extended on the 15, but I would watch a little pullback. Looks great. Let's put it here, Fleur. Yeah, if we can get like a controlled buy setup down to the low 45s, that I like. Yeah, looks great. I just don't like me personally because I'm so picky on my entries, and that's just rallied $1.50. But if you want to swing it, we'll stop, maybe under 43.30-ish. Just eyeballing it into this WRB. Looks good. There's no weeklies again, unfortunately. Until you so, yeah, wow. The buy setup after igniting gap. Bullish weekly monthlies, so sure. Sure. I usually don't like doing these this far from the 20, but 15 weekly monthly supported. And doctors, yeah, you were in yesterday and I said it looked fine despite the pullback. Until 29 puts for Friday, 14 cents of raw. That was fast on the post. Stop. Excellent. Well, Oh, that's the wrong price. 48.20. I was trying to break down. Well, I agree with both of you. It is a major support, but look at the last two bars have bearish topping tails with a void below. Oh, it's the same person talking to you, Alex. I thought you were arguing with somebody. Um, so just for a day trade, I mean, this would be a fantastic 30-minute low. If it closes like this, a bear 1, 2, 3. Ribbon's coming in. Shoot. Oh, wait. Yeah, look at the market. It's more swirliness from yesterday. Oh, ribbon, I got what spread? See that floor bottom, right? Coming in. Elon, let's move stop yesterday's low, 1852. No, the stock down be wrong yesterday. Never mind. Let me go through all opens here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it fell a lot. ARCB, we're short. Doing nothing. BTU, we're in trail mode. Ah, look. See, that's a great example of bar by bar. If it closes like this, it's just slowing momentum. Still hasn't traded near fire bars low though. So we're just in trail mode. Let the stock take us out. Small stuff breaking. Yeah, I wouldn't short that. No, it's already fine. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's extended course, but that's it's not a great 15-minute or maybe. But Sly, tell me what you were thinking and what time frame. It's extended, I get it. But when you say data, well, I said day trade. Um, it's just not jumping out at me. I, it's fine as being an active trader, but it's not a quality climb though. It's just short-term extended is all. The weekly is a better climb though, because count how many more weekly bars there are. Now you got a top and tail, a small gap. So that could be a little exhaustion gap, but that means you're trading the weekly chart. I see it. I know they're both climbers. Well, major resistance, I see it. So once again, it's the discussion of what time frame you're trading. Yeah, I'm still going through opens here. CMC coming back a bit. Reset the alarm. Yeah, but Alex, even for a four, for me, you know, we talk about this 1,000 times. I need a bear setup in the well, okay. And the monthly has to confirm. So if I am shorting the weekly as a climb mode, and then I ask the question, does the monthly confirm that bias? And the answer is yes. But the daily does not.